important space. And because it is important, I would appeal that this conference does not ditch or throw away or malign in ways the revolutions and the socialism of the 20th century. Many of us, including myself, learnt our politics and were inspired by the politics of the socialist revolutions of the 20th century. I want to say that the Soviets in 1917 and before, in 1905, were not less revolutionary than ourselves. They struggled and they had all the ideas to make the world a better place. All the things that we talk about now would have been common currency in the hearts and minds and the actions of the people of that time. These were the people who made the revolution. We have a long way to go before we can even reach. That's a lot of. For the last 20 years, we've been drummed into our heads, and mainly from internationally, that socialism has failed in various ways and so on, that the blueprints of the past don't work for now. I am not one of those who subscribes to that, because I think in condemning what we call the vanguardists of the 20th century and the vanguardist blueprints, we are putting our own vanguardist green prints now. We are acting no more different in coming and making a presentation of a particular green blueprint yesterday and today. What are we saying? We are saying we are now creating a space for a particular ideology now. And I'm saying if this is going to grow, if it's going to reach the left broader than ourselves, way out of this conference hall, then we need to recognize that there are people who are revolutionists around this country and elsewhere who subscribe to a whole range of ideas. Perhaps in the course of time we will determine and history will judge which tendencies have been pushing the correct blueprints, green prints and what have you. We don't want to be party to the constructs or to whatever positions come from either funders or so on. None of us have never been authoritarians. We've been victims of authoritarianism. On the issue of listening to the people, that again seems to be a kind of a vanguardist construct. We should be of the people. We are the people. We want to have all of the ordinary people in these structures, in this hall, throughout the country. That is what the democratic left or the revolutionary left will be. It will be made up of left people, struggling, ordinary working people, and so on from across this nation. So it's not a question of listening to the people. When we struggled in the pre-90 period, we didn't think about listening to the people. We felt we were the people who needed to fight against apartheid, defeat apartheid, bring about a new order.
ANC sit up about 10 million votes, whereas there are more. The majority, 11 million, are the people who don't vote. So then you should also take that into mind, that not voting doesn't do away with the ANC. So the ANC generally do worse in local elections, right? So that might be, after these local elections this year, the following elections, they're saying they're going to do away with local elections. Okay, so I'm just trying to put in your mind, they're not totally confident in their position, right? So the other thing is, I suspect that these Protection of Information Bill and Media Appeals Tribunal are also ways that, you know, the ANC don't like the bad news about the corruption and that, because they see that as that they're losing support. You know, in the last elections, they lost the Western Cape, and they only managed to stay on about the 60-something% because they got support from KZN. But that also shows that people can change the way they vote. They can change the way they think, the way they align their politics. So that should give us hope. So just as it is at the moment, if the ANC were to lose 2 million more votes, as well as because it's local elections, they get less support, and then we could mobilise, if people are into that kind of thing, if there's 2 million votes against them, then they'll be sitting at 50-50, which then puts you, you know, just trying to say, don't just think that it's impossible to challenge the ANC in elections.